Andre Ward defeats Sergey Kovalev on a 12-round unanimous decision. All three judges had Ward winning by a single point. Now, I watched the Sky Sports version of this fight, and Sky Sports were keeping the viewers updated with how HBO had it scored throughout the evening. And I have to say that for me, the HBO scoring, and not only the HBO scoring, even some of the journalists at ringside who were scoring it, like Dan Rayfield, their scoring was so far removed from what I witnessed that I really have to ask some serious questions. Watching the fight, I felt like Andre Ward won. I feel like the judge's decision was the correct decision. And I picked Kovalev before the fight. Let's not get it twisted here, people. But after knocking Andre Ward down and hurting him badly, I think it was in the second round, to me, Kovalev took his foot off the gas and he allowed Andre Ward back into the fight to pick and poke and steal rounds by small margins. And that's what Ward does. He's made a whole career of stealing rounds by landing one or two extra shots. He's a pretty low volume guy. And I just feel like Kovalev should have gone to the body more. He should have pressed more. He just wasn't landing enough punches. And as the fight went on, Ward was getting more and more into it. His timing was getting better and better. He was landing lots of body shots on Kovalev. He was landing the more clean headshots. Again, he wasn't landing 10 punches more than Kovalev per round. And I know the CompuBox on HBO apparently had Kovalev throwing and landing more. Well, it is just men pressing buttons, as Paulie Malignaggi said on the Sky broadcast. It's just men pressing buttons and he doesn't really pay too much attention. The Sky team all had Ward winning. And the Sky team are neutral. They don't have a horse in the race and they had Ward winning. I personally thought Ward won the fight. If somebody had Kovalev winning by a close margin, I'm not going to argue. All right, because a lot of the rounds were so close, they were so nip and tuck. Yeah, I can see Kovalev maybe winning by a point or two, but the HBO team had Kovalev winning by huge margins, apparently. To me, that is disturbing. And I think Ward needs to look at his relationship with HBO and really ask, I know other people have raised this, but I think he really needs to ask the question, do they have his best interests at heart? Because scoring it that wide in favor of Kovalev, I do not know what fight they were watching. I find that disturbing. So yeah, I feel like Kovalev took his foot off the gas. Now, in terms of the tactics, I always felt that if Ward tries to box Kovalev on the back foot, he'll get knocked out. And after that knockdown, it seemed to be what was going to happen. But to my surprise, Ward actually made a very good job of fighting on the back foot. And he had to, because on the inside, Kovalev was actually the stronger man. And I'd wondered about this going into the fight because Ward appeared to be the bigger man at the weigh-in. But as somebody pointed out to me, Kovalev is probably going to rehydrate a lot more after the weigh-in than Andre Ward. And that certainly appeared to be the case. Kovalev appeared to be the bigger man in the ring and he was certainly the stronger on the inside. However, even though he was stronger on the inside and he was pushing Ward back pretty much 95% of the time in clinches, he wasn't active on the inside. He was just wrestling and pushing Ward back, whereas Ward, particularly as the fight went on, was actually landing punches on the inside, particularly body shots, but also those sneaky little hooks, particularly the left hook that he likes to throw. So yeah, I just felt like it was Kovalev early, but as the fight progressed, Ward was just nicking rounds, and I just feel like Kovalev should have stepped on the gas. There was nothing that Ward hit Kovalev with that appeared to stun him or hurt him or anything like that. So you really do wonder why Kovalev was giving Ward so much time and space. I know Ward moves very well. So when Kovalev was coming in, Ward was spinning off to the side and moving here and there. But that's why I feel like Kovalev should have gone to the body more. You know, he just seemed to abandon body shots and it was Ward getting off all the body shots. He should have been jabbing to the body more. Remember, Ward's right hand is not great. And he clearly had the shorter reach than Kovalev in there, the shorter arms. So I don't think, jabs to the body, if he'd thrown more jabs to the body, I don't think it would have been too risky for Kovalev to do that. Jabs to the body, maybe even left hooks to the body when he gets in a certain range. So I felt there was a lot more that Kovalev should have been doing in there and could have been doing to slow Ward down and maybe take him out. And he just allowed Ward to nick points and land a few, and it's not just about who lands more punches in a fight, people. This is what CompuBox doesn't tell you. It's about who lands the more clean, effective punches. And also, CompuBox doesn't take into account how because when they just give you the final total for a fight, who threw and landed what, that doesn't take into account how those punch stats were distributed throughout the rounds. No fight has ever been scored, no fight in professional boxing is ever scored on total amount of punches landed throughout a 12-round fight, because you might have landed the majority of those punches in 3 rounds, and those were the rounds you won, whereas your opponent landed less shots but outscored you in the other rounds by 1 or 2 shots a round. So this is why CompuBox isn't used for scoring. So, I'm definitely more in agreement with Paulie Malignaggi and Matthew Macklin and Adam Smith, the Sky team. I felt that Ward won the fight. Now, I'd like to see the fight again, don't get it twisted, because sometimes when you watch it a second time or a third time with the sound off, it could seem like a different fight and you might score it a different way. So I'd definitely like to see this fight again. And it was an interesting fight. It wasn't a barn burner by any means, but it was interesting, particularly after Ward got dropped and hurt the way he did. You always felt there was impending danger whenever Kovalev started letting the shots fly. So it was an interesting fight. And actually, I was quite enthralled with it, even though it was a high-level chess match. It's not the kind of fight I normally enjoy, but I did quite enjoy watching this fight. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreement on the scoring here. A lot of people are going to believe that Kovalev won because a lot of people wanted Kovalev to win. And vice versa, a lot of people are going to believe that Ward won because they genuinely thought he won, and some people because they just wanted him to win. I'm trying to remain objective here. Again, I did pick Kovalev to win, but I just felt, watching it the first time, again, I'm going to watch it again, and maybe I'll change my scoring the second time I watch it. But watching it this first time, I felt that Andre Ward won the fight. And I thought, to be honest with you, he won it by more than a point. Because the judges had him winning by a point. I thought he won it by at least 2-3 rounds. Again, I'll watch it again and see how I scored it. But how did you have it scored? Drop your comments in the comment section below. And it certainly looks as though there'll be a rematch here, because Sergey Kovalev has a rematch clause in the contract. So that will, to me, inevitably be the next step. I can't see that not happening. Even though Andre Ward won the fight, Kovalev was never hurt. He was never in any trouble. So he's not going to be worried at all about going in there against Andre Ward a second time. He's just going to go and think to himself, you know what, I need to let my hands go more. This guy can't punch. I need to put the pressure on. I need to hit him in the body. I let him steal this fight, this first fight. I need to go in there and put it on him next time and work more in the inside as well. So, yeah, I'm sure the rematch will be the next step, unless Andre Ward vacates, does something else, which I'd be surprised if he did that, but we'll see. So let me know how you feel in the comment section below. I know it's going to get heated in this comment section, but let me know how you feel. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.